Bree Drummond. I live on a ranch in the middle of nowhere, and all my recipes have to be approved by cowboys, hungry kids, and me. Here's what's happening on the ranch. Lad's out fixing fence with longtime cowboy Tim Kill. Fixin' fence is a thankless job, so I'm making their most favorite Tex-Mex lunch as a treat. It's medium rare grilled steak sliced and packed into hearty ribeye quesadillas, a pot of perfect pinto beans, an absolute cowboy classic, and taco ranch side salad that's a shortcut sensation. Then, to keep things sweet, apple crisp in an iron skillet. Just the thing with vanilla ice cream. They're fixin' fence, and I'm fixin' lunch. Sounds like a fair deal to me. Welcome to my frontier. Fixin' fence is one of those constant jobs on a cattle ranch. We have miles and miles of fence on our ranch. Lad's out fixing some of it today, and Tim Kill, our longtime employee, is helping him. They're both going to be up here for lunch later, and I'm making them a Tex-Mex feast. I'm going to get a pot of beans on. They'll take quite a while to cook, so I want to get them started. I just put some pinto beans in the pot with some water, and I'll drop in some chopped onion and some chopped bell pepper and plenty of garlic. I soaked the beans overnight because I knew I was going to make them today. That makes them cook more evenly, and it won't take them as long to cook. Drop in a couple of bay leaves, and beans need quite a bit of salt, so I'll sprinkle in a good amount along with a really good amount of black pepper. I'm adding more pepper than salt. I've got a bunch of spices to add, some cayenne, cumin, paprika, and chili powder. I'll just kind of eyeball it. You don't have to be precise when you're making a big pot of beans. I tell you, fixin' fence, it's not exactly a glamorous job. There's really never a time that a rancher can relax and say, well, all the work's done, because there is always fence to fix somewhere. It's nice to have help, though, so I'm glad Tim Kill's out there with Lad, and I'm glad I'm in here in the kitchen. I'm not very good at fixin' fence. I've tried a couple of times. It's not my strong suit. So that was cumin, chili powder, paprika, and cayenne. It's a really good mixture for beans. I always like to add some kind of fat when I make beans. You can add a ham hock. You can dice up some ham and add it. I had bacon in my fridge, so I just cut it up into pieces, and I'll drop those in. I'll give this a stir so all the spices are mixed in. I am so glad Tim Kill is coming over for lunch. He is so much fun to cook for. Every time I've ever made him anything, he always acts like it's the best thing he's ever eaten. And I know he's just being nice, but, or maybe he just loves food. Either way, I love having him over for any meal. That's all mixed together. Now I'll turn the heat to high, and I'm gonna bring this to a boil, and then I'll reduce the heat to a simmer and cook it for about 3.5 hours. Now I'm gonna head out and do some chores in a little bit. Lad's gonna start on his fence work, so he'll have plenty to do in the meantime. Catch you back here later.
Fixing fence is not usually everybody's favorite job to do, but it's something that needs to be done. On our main ranch, we'll have over 120 miles of fence, and each person's responsible for looking after the fence in their area. Usually, whoever's cattle tore the fence up is the one responsible for fixing the fence. So today, I'm going to meet Tim Kill. He's claiming one of my bulls tore his fence up, so I'm going to go over and help him patch it back up. All of our land is divided up into pastures, and in the pastures you'll have different types of animals. So in this pasture I've got fall calves and cows. In Tim Kill's pasture over here, he's got spring calving cows. You may not know you have a problem with the fence until you actually have a mess up in your cattle. So cattle that were supposed to be in this pasture and another pasture, and then you'll know, hey, I got a hole in that fence somewhere.
Lad said his fence operation is going to take a few hours, so I'm going to move forward on the next stage of lunch. Ribeye quesadillas. Talk about a cowboy's dream. I'm going to marinate the ribeyes first. I'll start by putting some olive oil into a food processor. Now I'll add a couple of citrus juices. The first one's orange juice, and the second one is lemon juice. This is a really good basic Tex-Mex marinade, and I use it a lot no matter what I'm marinating. I'll season it with a little salt and pepper, and I love using cumin in this marinade. It gives it such great flavor. I'll add about a tablespoon or so, and any Tex-Mex marinade has to have some spice, and chipotle peppers definitely do the trick. I'm adding a great big one along with a little bit of sauce from the can, just to make it extra spicy. For a deep, savory flavor, about a 1/4 cup of soy sauce, and then a couple of cloves of garlic go in, and I'll put on the lid and mix it all together. These ribeye quesadillas are gonna blow Lad and Tim's mind. Usually when I make steak quesadillas, I'll use sirloin, sometimes flank steak. Rarely do I use a nice, thick, juicy steak in a Tex-Mex dish like this. Oh, the marinade looks great. It's a beautiful color. It smells really good. So I'll just pour it in with the ribeyes. These steaks are flavorful enough on their own, but after marinating in this concoction, they're going to be out of this world. I'll seal the bag, smush it all around a little bit. I'm gonna get these into the fridge to marinate for a couple of hours, and then I'll grill them up right before lunch. Up next, skillet apple crisp with a crazy good crumble topping. Then I'm keeping things spicy with a shortcut taco ranch side salad, grilling up the ribeyes, then building delicious meaty quesadillas for two of my favorite cowboys. We have fences all over our ranch, and whether it's time to tear down an old fence and build a new one or just fix a broken fence, it is a never-ending job for a rancher. Lad's getting a big taste of that this morning. He and Tim Kill are out fixing fence, and I'm making them a great lunch. Dessert is going to be pure comfort food, apple crisp in a skillet. I'm going to cook some apples. I've been slicing them. They're Granny Smith apples, and I'm going to stuff the skillet pretty full. The apples are going to cook down eventually, so I want to start with a really good amount. I had a little butter in the pan. Oh, butter and apples. Talk about comfort food right there. All it needs right now is a sprinkling of salt, and I'll stir them around and let them cook for about 3 minutes.
I can see Tim Kill's up here waiting on me. Tim Kill, he's been with us a long time. He used to work for us when I was a kid before I went to college. He's probably the best guy we have when it comes to fixing fence and taking care of his fence. One thing about Tim is, he likes to get places early. If we meet somewhere at 4 o'clock in the morning, he'll be there at 3:30. As I suspected, he's already here started. Dang, it is a pretty good size hole. Well, I was just gonna sit over there on the hill and watch it, then I kind of started feeling guilty.
Why does that not surprise me?
How'd you get this mess?
Your bull.
My bull?
Yeah, your bull.
You absolutely sure? Did I get him back?
Yep.
All right.
Let's just start at the top and work our way down.
That sounds good to me.
The apples have been cooking away. They're getting nice and juicy. Now they need some sweetness, so a couple of tablespoons of brown sugar go in, and vanilla, a healthy splash. For the crisp, I want the apples to have a little bit of thickness, so I'm gonna add lemon juice, cornstarch slurry. My mom was always a big fruit crisp maker. That was one of her specialties. I grew up eating apple crisp and peach crisp, and I still use the same topping my mom made. All right, I'm gonna turn this down. And speaking of the topping, that's what I'm gonna whip up now. It starts with 3/4 of a cup of flour, 1/2 cup of brown sugar, 1/4 cup of regular sugar, and just for flavor, a little bit of cinnamon and nutmeg. Sprinkle in a little bit of salt. I'll start smushing it around. I know Tim Kill is gonna love this dessert. He pretty much loves every dessert. All right, I've got some cold butter. I cut it into pieces, and I'll sprinkle it over the dry mixture. Any crisp topping worth its salt definitely has butter in it. I have to say, this requires a lot of upper body strength, and I'm just the woman for the job. Tim and Lad should have me out there helping them. They don't know what they're missing.
What do you think? You just ran through it, or
No, my bull.
Fighting your bull? So one of my bulls got in there and went to fighting one of Tim's bulls, and basically they just wiped the fence out. They're so big and powerful, when they get to fighting, they'll create a hole just wherever if they're next to the fence.
They certainly do.
So this top wire, it stretched it out really good, so Tim's just pulled it tighter together, and now he's tying it back together. And then the next couple wires, it looks like they're completely broke, so we'll have to pull them back together, tie them together. We're gonna do it to Tim's specifications, because he's the fence expert.
That's wrong.
Well, you're a whole lot better at it than I am. Let's put it that way.
Okay, this is the moment. I'll sprinkle the crumb topping all over the top, and I want it to get down there in the cracks and crevices. Oh, if I had a fork, I would eat these apples right out of the skillet. They smell so good. That is perfect. I'll cover the skillet with foil. I'll get this into a 350-degree oven. It'll bake for 15 minutes with the foil on, and then I'll take the foil off and let it go for another 20 to 30 minutes. Now, in my world, there is only one way to serve up this apple crisp. I can just taste it right now. A big spoonful of the amazing crisp with its soft, sweet apples and divine topping. And it needs nothing more than a big scoop of vanilla ice cream. Talk about a treat. For a couple of busy fence fixers, that dessert is gonna be just the thing.
Yeah, you're getting it. I'm gonna let you do this one, but then I'm gonna do the next one. I imagine you got a few tricks, don't you?
Well, accumulated over the years.
How'd you do it when you came over in the Mayflower? While he's doing that, I'll drive a few posts for him.
You're a good boy. There's number 2.
Up next, the marinated steak gets transformed into ribeye quesadillas in a Tex-Mex treat with crunchy taco ranch salad on the side. Just the thing after a long morning of fixing fences on the prairie.
For food recipes and more, go to, you better write that down. Now, what did I say to start over again? Food Network. Okay, we ready to do this again?
Let me show you how to do it.
Sure, what are we doing?
For recipes and more, go to foodnetwork.com/pioneerwoman. That's almost professional, isn't it?
It sounded that way. You had more rehearsal time than I had, my friend.
Cowboys and Tex-Mex just go together. I have never met a single cowboy that doesn't love Tex-Mex food. I've never met a single cowgirl that doesn't love Tex-Mex food. It is the best. Lad and Tim Kill are in the thick of Fixin' Fence, and they are going to go nuts for these ribeye quesadillas. I got to grill up the ribeyes. That's part of the process. They've been marinating away, and I just drizzled olive oil on a hot grill pan, and they're going to go right on. Ooh, I love that sizzle. If you don't have a sizzle when you put a steak on a grill pan, something is definitely wrong. These steaks are nice and thick, so they need to grill for about 4 to 5 minutes per side.
Professor, this looks a lot better than it did.
You did a good job. I was glad I was here to watch.
Good help.
Seeing as how my bull did it, I thought I might come help him.
Amen, brother.
I got to teach him better manners than that.
I'm telling you, I wish you'd learn him to stay home.
I think he thought your cows looked better than
You
mine.
need to get further your cow.
We got that one little wire to fix on our way back.
Well, here we go.
All right. We'll go over there and grab that, and then we'll go get something to eat.
Oh, that sounds good.
I know those two fence fixers well enough to know that they are going to be really excited for lunch. While the steaks are cooking, I'm going to get the other ingredients ready for the quesadillas, and then I'll take these off, let them rest, and slice them up.
The fence we're going up to here now is in between Tim and I's pasture, so I'm saying that's his fence. He says because the wire's on my side of the post, it's my fence, but I think it's his fence. But see, I'm pretty sure one of your steers broke that wire.
Yeah, right. I'm thinking maybe it was a deer.
A deer? Well, if you'd teach your steers not to make these holes, we wouldn't have these problems.
I know, right?
There's absolutely nothing about this meal that Lad and Tim aren't going to go crazy for, but they are really going to love these steaks. They're cooked so perfectly, medium rare. I think that's going to be enough steak for the quesadillas. Now I'll assemble the first 2 quesadillas, the first 2 of many. I'm going to start with a big helping of Monterey Jack cheese. I've made quesadillas with every kind of cheese under the sun, and Monterey Jack is the best, without question. I'll grab a few slices of the gorgeous ribeye steak, and I'll just arrange them randomly. Oh my gosh, if you're gonna make a steak quesadilla, you might as well use a ribeye. It really is the best cut of steak, in my humble opinion. I thought roasted poblano chilies would give the quesadillas a beautiful flavor. I roasted them myself. It's super easy. You just roast the chilies over the flame on the stovetop, get them into a bag, seal them up, and let them sit so they'll sweat. Then take them out of the bag, scrape off the black skin, cut them in half, remove the seeds and membranes, then roughly chop them. I'm just putting a few pieces on each quesadilla. I don't want to overwhelm the guys with too much green. It's all about the steak and the cheese with these. Now I'll sprinkle on a little bit of diced onion. When you're working with raw onion and cowboys, you have to go really light. Not that they're picky or anything. A few diced tomatoes, just a sprinkling. Now, a little extra cheese won't hurt. It will definitely help. That looks great. And I'll top both with a second tortilla. The skillets are nice and buttery, so I'll get them in one by one. And the second one. Now it's just a matter of babysitting them until the cheese is melted and the tortillas are golden.
That worked pretty darn slick.
Well, that's that. Let's go eat.
Let's go eat. I'm
I'm ready. Thanks, Bub.
Yep, thank you.
You bet.
We'll see you up there.
Up next, a fun shortcut taco ranch salad to go on the side with the ribeye quesadillas. It's a lunch date with 2 dedicated fence fixers. Lad and Tim Kill have been hard at it, and they're going to be really hungry for lunch. They'll be up here soon, so I'm finishing up these ribeye quesadillas. The second batch just got flipped. So while those finish off, I'm going to whip up some taco side salads, and they are really speedy for one important reason. I'm cheating and using bottled ranch dressing, and I'm doctoring it up with one ingredient, taco seasoning. It's amazing how delicious the taco seasoning makes a regular bottled dressing. It really does transform it. And if you're in a hurry and you don't have time to make your own dressing, it's a really nice shortcut. Okay, dressing's ready. Now I'll take these out. Ooh, that cheese is really nice and melted. These are gonna stay pretty warm. By the time the guys get here, they'll still be great. Okay, I've gotta put some more butter in the skillet. With every new batch of quesadillas that go in, I've gotta put another coating of butter. last two go in. I'm making plenty of quesadillas. We'll probably have too much, but that is just fine because they make really great leftovers. I'll get the side salads put together. Now the dressing goes in first. Not too much, just a little bit to coat the top layer of lettuce. Believe it or not, I actually have some cheese left over, so I might as well sprinkle it on. And what I love to sprinkle over the very top of the salads, taco chips. I'm just gonna grab a handful, crunch them up, and sprinkle them over each salad. I think I'll grab just a few tomatoes and sprinkle those in too. How fun is that?
I might be about to starve.
Pretty close. Pretty close.
Hey, guys.
Hey, honey.
How are you all?
Good. How are you doing?
Did you fix a lot of fence?
We got quite a bit fixed.
We did.
Tim did all the work. I just watched.
Oh, yeah. Howdy. How are you?
girl? Well, you know,
Good to see you.
good to see you.
I'm glad you joined us for lunch.
Boy, yeah, why not?
Well, I'm going to load you up a big bowl of beans. So how much fence did you fix, guys? Was it a productive morning?
It was good. Yeah, we had a pretty good sized hole.
It was a major hole.
His bull pushed my bull through the fence.
Wait a minute.
That's not the way it happened.
That sounds like a likely story. All righty. Well, I hope you guys are hungry.
Is this mine or his?
I always serve our guests first, honey. You know that.
Thank you.
So what are you guys doing this afternoon? You got to fix more fence? I can
bit.
help.
Yeah.
Hey, we got a post driver out there with your name on it.
What's a post driver?